Hey guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft PSP update video. In this video we're going to be going over some of the changes made in version 0.2 pre-release 4 for the PSP Craft server. But before we get into this, I really appreciate it if you guys could go down there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified of whenever I upload. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So as you notice, basically I'm right here on my desktop, and I'm doing this for the reason that my PSP is basically connected to my PC right here, and this screen over here is going to basically represent the actual PSP screen, and it basically just mirrors everything that's happening there. So if I start the PSP Craft server, it's just going to go ahead and set up the server, and it's going to run on my PSP. My PSP is physically here, and I think you guys have seen me do this multiple times before. Either way, we've started the server, and we're going to go ahead and log into the PSP server, which is running on an my Ethernet network, which I've shown before. Now, of course, as we get into the world, you guys are going to notice something somewhat immediately. So as soon as the server decides to load up here, which takes a long time, really, because my Ethernet adapter is like really slow for some reason. It doesn't really make any sense. Either way, I load in, and you guys notice that I'm falling. Now, what's interesting is that basically I'm falling and I'm walking on solid ground. This solid ground is actually going to be the entirety of the chunks. As you guys can see, I can move around this world freely and stuff like that. As you can see by the window in the top left, if I do different things like jumping, shifting, sprinting, stuff like that, it all triggers different packets to this. If I destroy blocks here, something more interesting actually happens. What actually happens is that you're going to see in a second that basically the chunk pops in. So the chunk data has been sent to all of the basically what's happening here is that the entire chunk data has already been sent to the client here, and the client is able to go ahead and act on that. But for some reason it's not showing up directly. I have an idea why. It could be because I'm not sending it in the exact formation that Minecraft expects it to be in, as in center chunk and then going around it. That's one of my ideas, and another one of my ideas is that it's probably going to be something having to do with the way that so basically it's going to have something to do with the way that I've created these chunks. I probably need to update them to get them to load in. Either way, whichever it ends up being, we actually have our first chunks generating on Minecraft with the PSP. Now, the chunk generation isn't actually very slow at all. It's pretty quick for what it is, and it's artificially slowed down just for the fact that I can see it over my network and be able to track packets and stuff like that more effectively. But I can go ahead and actually fix up some of that sort of features. So what's been added in this update is basically player movement, at least at walking speed. You will notice that if I do start sprinting versus when I'm walking, the only difference is that it spawns particles. It doesn't actually make you run faster due to the fact that I haven't really updated the code that's needed for this on the server. So pretty much what I'm going to be working on is getting sort of block placing, breaking, and obviously finishing up all these movement sort of things first as well. For chunk generation, I'm actually kind of okay with the way that chunks are generating right now. It doesn't really need to be too complicated, and obviously there's no fall damage because, you know, I fell from like a billion blocks up there to come down here. And everything's working perfectly fine, as you can see on the PSP. So later tonight I'll be doing some streaming, working on Stardust engine, and doing some stuff regarding Stardust engine's internals, updating the networking sections as well, and doing some 3D. So the updates to the network section will directly affect this project in Raven Client, and it should make it a lot easier to basically work with because I'll be using byte buffers for my packets, which prevents an actual issue from happening that's actually happening right now on Raven Client. That prevents me from being able to properly receive chunks. So that's pretty much what I'm expecting. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.